Hi, I'm gonna do the student experiments for the types of reactions lab. So make sure you have your lab sheet out and you're making observations and you're recording what the reactants and products, their formulas and their states. So solid, liquid, gas, aqueous. So I'll show you all of them. So I'm gonna go out of order to start. I'm gonna start with D, which is the copper 2 chloride and aluminum because this one has to sit. So here's the copper 2 chloride. So it is a solution, which means it's aqueous, right? I dissolved it in water and it's this pretty blue color. And the aluminum is just aluminum foil, okay? So I'm gonna just kind of stick that in there and you're gonna see, I want it to like actually get underneath the copper 2 chloride a little bit. I'm gonna grab it, I'm just gonna kind of swirl it a bit. Okay, and it's already starting to react, but I'm gonna let it sit so we can see it react more. All right, so I'm just gonna set that aside. All right, so I'm gonna go back to C. Okay, so I gotta light my Bunsen burner because we're gonna react magnesium metal with oxygen. So anytime you have fire, you have a reaction with oxygen if you're burning something. So we start by burning the fuel that's coming out of the Bunsen burner. There we go. Okay, so I need to put the magnesium in the hottest part of the flame, which if you remember, maybe you can see it barely, is right here at the top of the blue cone. You can't even see the outer cone, I don't think, on the video. Hold on. All right, got a better flame. So the magnesium looks like this. So it's a metal, it's a little strip of it. It's really soft and flexible, but it is a solid, right, if it's a metal. So I'm going to hold it in the hottest part. Okay, so it's reacting with oxygen. When I burn it, if I don't hold it in the hottest part, it won't do this, which it gets really bright. Can't stare at it, or it could hurt your eyes, like staring at the sun. All right, and then when it's done, it looks like this. So you can see it's totally changed and it's not magnesium anymore. All right, we've got a new solid product, but it's not magnesium. And it has completely different properties. You'll see when I touch it, it just falls apart. Okay. All right, so that was C. All right, let's do E. So the silver nitrate and potassium chromate. So I put them each in a test tube. The silver nitrate is this clear, colorless solution, and the potassium chromate is yellow and clear. So I can see through it, right? But it's yellow. Okay, so I'm going to just combine one into the other. It doesn't matter which way I go. I'm just going to do this. And you can see we've got a color change, and you cannot see through it anymore, which means we have a solid, a precipitate. So you can figure out what the products could possibly be. And based on that, you can look at your blue sheet to figure out what the solid is versus what the aqueous solution is left in there. You can even see some of the solid on the side of the test tube. As I let it sit, you'll see it sink, and you can actually see it starting to sink right here and settle and getting your solid product. All right. F. So I've got hydrochloric acid right here. I'm going to put a little zinc metal in it, and you're going to see bubbles immediately form, right? And you can see there's a gas being formed. So I'm going to put this on to collect the gas, and I'm going to let it sit here. So I add zinc to hydrochloric acid. So I'm going to let it sit here and react a bit. It's going to keep bubbling. I want to collect that gas, and then we're going to test it to see what the gas is. So we can go back to D. So calcium chloride and the aluminum foil, you can see there's very little foil left. It's kind of falling apart. You can kind of see it's this reddish brown color, and that is, here I can even try to pull some of it out. If I can, without it falling apart. You can see that reddish brown. Okay, so it's not aluminum anymore. The aluminum went into the solution and something came out of the solution. You can see it's actually changing color. It's not really that blue anymore. It's getting a lot lighter. You can see this reddish brown stuff that's on the bottom where the aluminum used to be. So think about what can happen or what is happening here. All right. So the last one, I think we've got all our gas collected in there. So I'm going to light a splint on fire. If you remember or you watched part 1, we tested for hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, and carbon dioxide. And you should be able to predict what gas this is based on your reactants. So let's test it. Here we go. You hear that pop? Okay, that pop is a positive test for one of those 3 gases, hydrogen, oxygen, or carbon dioxide. All right, so those are the 4 student reactions and the types of the reaction lab.